Hey guys, it's Melissa with Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. So I asked my guides today what I should give a message about, and I kind of drew a card to get a better idea of what message needed to be heard. And what I got very loud and clear was that somebody out there, could be multiple people, are feeling full of fear, anxiety, worry, and doubt, and it's consuming them. So I want to talk to you today about not living your life full of fear, anxiety, worry, and doubt, because that is a miserable place to be. It's no way to live. But I feel like some of you are stuck there. And it makes a lot of sense because we just came out of Mercury retrograde, and even though we don't really like to give those things stories and power, there is something to the fact that it makes people feel kind of crappy because it brings up a lot of past emotions. It's all about resolving past issues, forgiving the past. And for many of us, when it brings up those past issues, it's not pleasant because we have to experience those emotions that hurt us. They caused a lot of pain. So there's that. But I feel like some of you, even more than feeling guilt and resentment from the past, and that might be a portion of you, but I feel like other people are just overthinking, and you're worrying about things or potential things that could happen that probably will never happen, but you are so afraid of something, you keep thinking about it, and so when you do that, you actually end up manifesting the thing you don't want to happen. And let me give you an example of that. So let's imagine that you have been cheated on before in a relationship, and you're so worried about that not happening again. You don't want it to happen. You're fearful it's going to happen. You're very insecure about it. So you keep checking in on your partner and saying, are you cheating on me? Or, are you sure you're being honest with me? And you keep pestering them and pestering them. And what you end up doing is causing the thing that you didn't want to happen in the first place. You end up causing that person to leave. You drive them away by making them crazy. And then they end up finding another relationship because they couldn't find what they wanted with you. That's just one example of how your fears of something that you think is happening, which may be not happening, is causing the actual thing to happen. And that happens with other issues too. We see that a lot. When our fears take over, we end up manifesting the thing that we don't want to happen because we're focusing all of our energy on the bad and the negative. And that's what we're calling up. And we're calling that into being instead of the positive things that we want to see. And it can be really easy to allow yourself to slip into that old mindset of worry and what if, and questioning everything, and that's when we get ourselves in trouble. So what I see here is somebody who feels like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders, and it just feels like I just see someone hugging themselves, like trying to comfort themselves, and being up at night, not sleeping at night, being worried about the future and what's going to happen. And if I choose this path, will this happen? Will this happen? It's like you're trying to predict all the things that could go wrong. Instead of looking at all of the things that could go right and all of the positives, you're choosing to focus on the negative. And so what that's doing is it's robbing you of your peace, it's robbing you of your sleep, and you're actually calling in those things that you don't want to happen. So what is it that's causing you so much worry, so much fear, so much anxiety? Is it the upcoming holiday season? Do you know you're going to have to deal with family, so that's bothering you? Is it the thought of having to choose a new path in your life? Is it your relationship? What is it that is causing so much worry and fear? As I said, it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy when you start thinking about all of the things that could go wrong. Suddenly you realize those things are starting to happen. It's because you're putting all of this thought into the negative, and you're manifesting that even though you don't want to. So much of our fear and worry, it's in our head. It's not things that are actually going to happen. It's things that we are afraid are going to happen. We are dreaming up problems that never existed. And that's the truth. And it seems so weird to think about that, but we are. We are thinking of problems that we don't have yet. And why would you want to invent new problems for yourself? I mean, I don't know anybody who wants to do that. But that's what we do, and I will be the first to tell you that I used to do that. I used to be really bad about that, and you can ask the person I was in the last relationship with that, yeah, I did that. I did. I would constantly worry about things that hadn't happened yet. I drove myself crazy as well as everyone else. I mean, it's terrible. It's a pattern that you have to get out of. Most of us are raised to do this because our parents did it and we heard our parents talking like this, and that's where we pick it up from. They always try to think of the worst case scenario, thinking that they're going to avoid these things, but really just coming up with the worst case scenario is just coming up with more problems that you don't need. And we don't realize that we're giving energy to these problems, and then we're causing these problems to manifest. But that's exactly what we're doing. And if you looked at it like that, I guarantee you'd stop doing it because you wouldn't want all of these things to start happening. So, how do you stop that vicious cycle of repetitive fear and anxiety and worry? Because it's a vicious cycle. It goes on and on and on. You would be amazed. Some of you, I'm sure, already know this, but you would be amazed at how far down in the depths of darkness your mind will go if you allow it to. If you allow your mind to wander down there and as to what could happen. Oh, these are all the possible horrible things that could go wrong. It's easy to start doing that more and more and more, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so it becomes a huge problem. And then it's hard to get yourself out of that. It's hard to snap back from that. Especially when it's a habit, when you're so used to doing that. You're so used to saying, you know what, nothing ever good happens to me. This isn't going to work out either. When you have that negative mindset, why do you think anything positive is going to happen? How could it? You're not giving anything positive energy. You have to give that stuff energy and don't give that negative stuff any energy. You've got to let that shit go because it's not helping you. It's keeping you stuck. It's keeping all of these bad things happening to you. So if you're losing sleep at night and you find yourself in this repetitive mode of thinking about the negative, calling in all of the problems that could happen that probably aren't there and don't exist, but you've invented them now, how do you get out of that? One of the things that you need to do is to take a deep breath, and you need to be mindful of your thoughts. When you start to notice that you are thinking things like this, you need to say stop, rewind, delete. I'm not going to give those thoughts power. Stop, rewind, delete. And then you need to start thinking positive thoughts. So for every negative thought you have, come up with 3 or 4 positives to replace those. You need to start getting in that mindset and start being mindful of what you're thinking. It's not always easy to do because as we go about our day and we end up on autopilot, especially if you're driving home from work and you're in the routine and you know how it is. You drive and then you're like, wait, did I go through a red light? Was that light red? Because you're just on autopilot. You're doing what you always do and your body knows where to go. Brain knows where to tell your body to drive. And you do it without thinking. It's the same thing with your thoughts. We just go there automatically without thinking about it because it's what we've always done. Our brain's on autopilot. We've already rewritten that story. We're going to keep telling that story. It's like a record player. It's going round and round and round, and it's not going to change until you pick up that needle, break that record, and put on a new one. And you have to be mindful of doing that, or else you're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're calling in the negative. If this is you, you need to get some help with this. If it's serious enough, maybe you need to reach out and seek professional help. There's nothing wrong with that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with talking to a counselor. And I always stress this to people too. Don't just go with your first one and then just stick it out. If you go to a counselor and you don't click with that person and you don't feel like they're listening to you, or that any of the advice that they're giving you meshes with you, find somebody else. You need to find somebody that you actually have a connection with, or else it's not going to work for you. You're not going to do anything they say if you don't like them. And you're probably not going to be very honest with them either. So you've got to find somebody who clicks with you, someone who works for you. And I've had other counselors tell me, look, if you don't like me or we don't mesh, you're not going to hurt my feelings, tell me. And they're right. You have to be honest. You might seek spiritual guidance or counseling too. I don't know if you have a church or a minister, somebody that you feel comfortable talking to, but that's another avenue. Talk to your spiritual team. You don't have to go to a minister to talk to God. You have that ability too. You don't have to be ordained. You came from the divine. You are one with the divine. You have a direct line and connection to the divine. You can talk to the divine yourself. The divine, source, God, whatever you want to call it. You can do that yourself. Call in your angels to help you. You can meditate. Meditation is a great thing to do, because when we quiet our minds and we get into that habit, we start telling those little voices of negativity to go away. And it's a really easy way to train our minds if you're into meditation. Let's be honest, some people are not, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've tried so many times to like yoga, and I just can't, and it's just me. Everyone else loves it. I've tried it. I don't know. It's just not something I enjoy. I'll still keep trying every once in a while, because I don't know. Maybe that'll change, and I'm totally jealous if you like yoga and you get into it, because I think it would be wonderful, and honestly I sleep like a baby afterwards, so it's great for you. I just can't get into it. It's not something I look forward to doing. But if you do, that's awesome. Do yoga. That's another way to get your mind centered, to ground yourself. Go for a walk in nature. You can get Reiki. Reiki is a great way to bring balance to your mind and your body. And we can ask for cord cuttings, so we get those negative cords that are tied to us from people or events that have happened to us in our past. We can get rid of those, cut those, so that we no longer feel the pain that comes along with those. So that's another thing you can do. And of course, one thing that I love doing are tapping exercises, so I thought I would do one with you today. And I sometimes write my own. I did not write my own this time, just didn't have enough time. But I'm going to do this tapping with you, and I think it's a pretty good one for tapping away your anxiety. And it came from a website called reachyourfullpotentialnyc.com. So it's Reach Your Full Potential, and I got this from that website. But before you even begin to do the tapping, here's some things that they suggest. First of all, tune in to the problem that you are hoping to solve through this tapping. What is it that's bothering you? And it could be overthinking, it could be anxiety about an issue. What is the issue? What's the worry? So really tap into what it is that's causing you problems. Where are you feeling it? Are you feeling pain in your shoulder or in your neck or your back? Because whenever I'm experiencing worry or anxiety, sometimes I feel it as a physical symptom like back pain. That can happen for me. And in fact, I just had a client come to me the other day who wanted Reiki, and she was feeling back pain, and it was part of it stemmed from an emotional problem. It stemmed from an issue that happened. She had an argument with a friend, and she said, I'm experiencing this back pain. And I was able to tap into it and say, well, it's because you've got this emotional issue going on. Like, you're having this disagreement with your friend, and that's causing this back pain. So we were able to get rid of that because we had to deal with the emotional stuff first. So Reiki can do that. That's wonderful. But tap into what it is you're feeling. How intense is the problem? On a scale of 0 to 10, how intense does this feel? All right, so you could put in your own phrases here when you do your own tapping, but I've got one already set up, so we're going to do this together. And we're going to start tapping on the karate chop point, which is the side of your hand. And you're just going to repeat after me, and you can do this tapping anywhere. You can do it in the car. If you're doing it in the car while you drive, just be careful. You could pause this and come back to it if you want to wait and do it until you're like at home and can really focus. When you do the tapping, you're releasing emotions, so you may cry or you may yawn. You may start to feel like things happening because you're releasing this emotion. So just start tapping on your karate chop and repeat after me. Even though I have all of this anxiety and stress, I accept myself anyway. Even though I have all of this stress and anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. And even though the stress and anxiety is exhausting, I accept myself no matter what. Now you're going to go to the top of the head. This anxiety, top of the eyebrow. This stress about my problem, side of the eye. All this stress, under the eye. All this worry, under the nose. It's exhausting, above the chin. All this stress, collarbone. All this fear, under the arm. This fear about my problem. Okay, start at the karate chop again. I want to let it go, but I'm so scared. Top of the head. This stress, top of the eye. This fear, side of the eye. This worry, under the eye. All this stress, under the nose. This problem, under the chin. This issue, collarbone. All these stressful feelings, under the arm. All this fear, karate chop. It's too much. It's too overwhelming. Top of the head. But what if I let it go? What if I understand that I'm human and I don't need to worry anymore? I can let it go. I can live in the moment and not worry about what the future holds. I choose to live in the moment and let go of all this worry and stress. All right, take a big, deep breath. Now, think about how you're feeling now and what your stress level is now. If that helped and then went down at all, you can do this again. You can do these tappings as many times as you want to. And I always recommend go to YouTube and look up Brad Yates. He has a lot of really good tappings out there, and they're all free and you can do them anytime. They don't take very long. The longest one I think is like 8 or 9 minutes, which is not very much of your time when you consider that it could cause you to stop doing this to yourself. Stop feeling all of this worry for no reason. Because I really feel like many of you are creating problems that don't exist. You're so worried about what could happen, what will happen, because you're trying to predict the future, that you're creating worry about something that's not even an issue. So think about that. If you still need help trying to get out of those old belief systems, those old thought patterns that are not serving you, they're not serving you anymore, then think about joining my program, A Purposeful Pilgrimage. It's 22 days of daily lessons, but you can revisit them as often as you want to, and they'll change your life. They're going to help you figure out how to stop doing the same thing over and over again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you want change in your life, if you want to feel better, if you want to be better, you've got to change. And it starts with you. We can't change other people around us, but we can change ourselves. And the amazing thing is that when you change yourself, other people around you start to change too. It's incredible the shift that you'll see in other people when you shift yourself. It all starts with you. So take that leap of faith today. Let that fear go and decide that you are no longer going to settle for crumbs. You are worthy and deserving of a happy and abundant life, and the only person who can ensure that you have that is you. Change your mindset and you'll change your life in miraculous ways, I promise. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate all of you and love you so much. If you like my podcast, please share it with other people. If you think you know others who might benefit from hearing my podcast, please share it with them. Please leave stars or reviews so other people can find me easier. And thank you so much to everyone who is already a loyal listener. Have a wonderful day. I love you guys, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.